Please join me in welcoming Imani Tate for the valedictory address.
Thank you, Arlington County School Board, Washington Lee High School Administration, faculty, families, and friends. It's a pleasure to have you with us today at this momentous ceremony, but we must not forget those that would love to join us but cannot. I would like to recognize those parents and relatives that could not be here today and are now serving overseas for our military. They receive our greatest respects. I would also like to recognize my grandparents and my mother. My grandfather, J.B. Carter Jr., many years ago began Tougaloo College in Mississippi with nothing but the suit on his back. And my grandmother, Mary Carter, met him there, coming from nothing but a small farm in Mississippi. These people and my mother, Joy Carter, who worked at Burger King to pay for college, have shown that with hard work and education, anything is possible. They showed me how, even in a society that told them that people that look different from the majority weren't capable of succeeding, what truly determines your success is your own determination. Thanks for your foundation and support. So, without further ado, congratulations, Washington Lee class of 2008. Within the past 4 years, each and every one of you has managed to make it through the avian flu epidemic. You have each witnessed our solar system shrink from 9 planets to 8. You have each managed to survive longer than the existence of new Harry Potter books, our Washington Lee High School mascots, and Brittany and Kay Fed's relationship. And on top of all of that, you somehow spent 4 whole years in high school. So I would just like to say good job. Good job, guys. It's frightening sometimes thinking about how we're moving on. What other places can you go where there are 5 or 6 security guards on duty every time you're in the building? Toilets with instruction stickers on them, and a cafe with no food in it. I'm sure most of you have no idea how you're going to survive the next 60 or 70 years of life. And I also know that as a freshman, I didn't even know how I was going to make it this far. Remember how it felt when a room of over 1,000 people were screaming, "Freshmen suck" at you? Or when rumors of the freshman beat-up day that never happened spread around school? Yeah, that feeling is about to start all over again. What I think is important to realize as we embark on this new journey once again is that no matter what anyone says, you're unlike anyone else, and you're destined for great things. On my way to Arlington from a small town in Mississippi that I've always considered home, my mother would often remind me that I shouldn't be shocked if A's were harder to come by or frustrated by more focused classmates. And I did encounter more focused classmates, but instead of being frustrated by them, I admired the way people like Marissa Beckley or Ingrid Pierre never really matched their clothes like everyone else, but still managed to look great anyway. I was fascinated by students like Kalkidan and Chevy that managed to come through their freshman year not knowing English and learn within a matter of months what it would have taken me a matter of years. Or Nancy Argueta, who worked 2 jobs while she was still in high school before I had even begun my first. And my second day, as I was walking out of my orchestra classroom, I was stopped by a girl with frizzy, slightly purple hair. And as was expected from a girl like Sarah Brosnahan, I never received a, "Hi, my name is Sarah." Instead, I received a, "Do you like lentil soup?" Followed by a fit of giggling and running into the cafeteria. That incident made me realize that 2 people were right, my mom and Dr. Phil. My mom was right about Arlington being different, in a good way. And Dr. Phil was right about how 80% of questions are actually statements in disguise. Sarah, like so many others I would encounter in my next 4 years, made a statement. They knew exactly who they were, and they were different. If they were what different was, then different was what I wanted to be. My freshman year, throughout my first semester at Washington Lee, I had people like Mrs. Keating assure me that, regardless of my doubts, Georgetown University actually was possible for me to attend in the future. And I'll never forget Mr. Sample's reaction to a story I told him about feeling as if someone was upset with me over something I felt I deserved. He looked at me in bewilderment and asked, "And whose problem is that?" The statement hidden behind his question was that someone else's problem with me ultimately had to do with their perception of my life, not my perception of myself. Counselors like these provide the support we need now and later on in order to realize our capabilities and use them to the fullest. That perception of myself that my teachers and counselors helped me discover became a girl that was as capable of succeeding within the world as my teachers believed I could be, and yet as different from the world as my peers like Sarah Brosnahan, Alex Beck, Salim Acuna, or Tin Manmur. One of the most heavily used words my junior year, without a doubt, would have to be the word fond. Walking into Mr. Fond's classroom, everyone has the understanding that for the period you're in his class, your successes and failures are taken personally by him. If about a week after a test, you walk into the classroom and Mr. Fond begins to draw a graph of the latest test scores, you know exactly what is about to happen. Being fond is the most intense experience I have ever had in a class. Everyone is dead silent, and Mr. Fond stands at the front of the class, saying one sentence at a time, and taking several seconds in between to glare around the room, daring anyone to make eye contact with him. Mr. Fond made it clear that there wasn't one person in his classroom that was incapable of succeeding. Even though you might leave feeling intimidated and a bit petrified, you knew that you got Fond because he loves his students, knows exactly what they are capable of, and won't let anyone have an excuse for not working hard to take advantage of those capabilities. You see, Mr. Fond, like so many other teachers I have had at Washington Lee, knows that having the ability to succeed isn't something we have to strive to maintain. Just like how being different isn't something we have to try to be. It's what we are. Class of 2008, you were born different. You were born to succeed. And ironically, that's what brings us together. So whether you're going to Harvard, VCU, Yale, Howard, or Nova next year, you're not going to be able to change who you are. That diploma that you're about to get from Washington Lee High School destines your success. It defines your differences. It confirms your identity as a unique and capable member of the Washington Lee class of, oh what? Thank you.
Okay, now for the official part. As principal, I certify to the representatives of the school board and the superintendent that the seniors assembled here have met or will meet all the requirements of a high school diploma enumerated by the Commonwealth of Virginia and are entitled to all the benefits and privileges appertaining thereto. Mrs. Reyes will now read the roll call for the awarding of the diplomas.
Imani Tate. Daniel Abicia de Gostoni. Ming Yi Ao. Marissa Beckley.